Hello, my name is Ed Frawley. My wife and I own Leerburg. This is a good Q&A. We get these questions sent to the Ask Cindy portal on our website every day. Cindy answers them every morning. If she's in town and not off on a training exercise or training seminar, she answers all of them on training, behavioral problems, on breeding, healthcare. If we can answer them, we will answer them. If there's not enough information in the question, Cindy's going to write you back and say, hey, what about this, this, and this? What have you been doing there? And then they'll answer. Then we know they're serious about solving their problems, only because I don't give my relatives or family any more information on dog training because they don't listen. You tell them what to do, and they don't do it. Or you tell them what to do, and their neighbors told them what to do, and their neighbor's a postman or a barber or whatever. Good professions now, but they're not dog trainers. They haven't been doing it for 50 years or 60 years. So anyway, this is an example of another stupid vet. I'll read it. It's about a guy who has a Rottweiler that his 80-year-old mother had, and it got to be too much of a dog for her, so she gave it to her son. And the son took it to the vet and left it at the vet to get neutered, and the dog attacked the vet and the people that work there. I'll read it, then I'll talk about it. My 80-year-old, it was my aunt, it was his aunt. My 80-year-old aunt adopted a baby Rottweiler. Is that a puppy? I think so. When he got to be about 5 months old, she couldn't handle him anymore. I thought I was doing her a favor, and I took him in, but he had already developed bad habits, and I think he is dominant. I'll say this. A 5 months old puppy is not dominant. There can be some issues there. There can be behavioral issues based on genetics. There can be behavioral issues based on how that puppy had been handled for the first 5 months. But he's not dominant. And the truth is, probably 98% of the people out there that think they have dominant dogs do not have dominant dogs. I just did my last course was on dealing with dominant and aggressive dogs, and I addressed that in a lot of details. Don't get me wrong here. Just because a dog is dog aggressive doesn't mean that it's automatically a dominant dog. Further from the truth, that is. So, I've taken this Rottweiler to 2 trainers and finished basic obedience. The things are going pretty well. The other day, I took him to the vet to get neutered, and he attacked the vet and all the staff. I'm sure he was just scared, and they were trying to tell him what to do without any rewards. But it was more about the dog being scared. He's now 15 months old, too. He's 15 months old and he weighs 90 pounds. This makes me wonder if he's going to turn on me one day, or was this a one-off deal? The vet said he's concerned for my safety and that I should consider turning him into a Rottweiler rescue. Right. But I believe he has started to see me as the leader with all of the work and the training that I've done on him. What are your thoughts? I know I can't get the whole story here, but that's the gist. Well, first of all, there's some issues here. First of all, in the selection of the vet. This vet, as far as I'm concerned, that needs to go. If he thinks that turning this dog over to a rescue organization is going to solve that dog's problem, the odds of that dog being mishandled or mishandled in the future in a scary situation is not going to change anything, whether it's with a rescue organization or a new owner. There's a risk with a new owner. That's not the solution to this. And to take a dog that's a 90-pound, 15-month-old strong working dog into a vet, leave him with the vet, and expect these people that work for the vet to come in and say, oh, I'm the boss here, I'm going to tell him what to do. Sit down, blah, blah, blah. Nah, that ain't going to work. That's a recipe. That's a recipe to get dog bit. The vet should know that. I'm sorry. So Cindy goes ahead, and she cuts it right here. I don't judge young dogs on their behavior at the vet because many vet employees don't understand how to handle a strong working dog or a dog that's nervous and scared. For a vet to recommend that you turn the dog into a rescue based on a fearful reaction to being handled by strangers in a clinic such setting is unreasonable. And boy, that's a truth. She says, honestly, I'd be looking for a new vet. I already said that. I would too. I would teach him how to wear a muzzle comfortably so you would have a way to reassure the staff or anyone that would need to treat him in the future. Perfect advice, absolute perfect advice. We have a free video on how to size a dog correctly for a muzzle. And I also, in that video, talk about the different sizes or different models, because there's a ton of different muzzles out there. I think we have close to 100 different models and sizes of muzzles. And we show you exactly how to measure so you get the right size for your dog. It's so important. Some of these online Facebook groups that teach people how to size muzzles are dead wrong. These muzzles that they have, and you'll see them, they got a little border collie, and there's this much room between the bottom of the dog's jaw and the muzzle. You know how hard it is for that dog to get that muzzle off? About 2.5 seconds. Foot underneath of it and off it goes. You don't want to have that happen with a dog like this. So, those are people that are probably well-intentioned people. Don't get me wrong here. Some of the moderators are a little crazy, but the people generally, they're just trying to help people, but they don't have the experience to know how to do what they're telling them to do. So in addition to getting the right muzzle, it's just as important to teach the dog that it's okay to wear a muzzle, that the muzzle going on can result in fun things. There's no reason, and we teach that. We have an excellent video. If somebody buys a muzzle from us, they get the free online course on how to condition a dog to wearing the muzzle. Because you can teach a dog that a muzzle going on is not a bad thing. When the muzzle goes on, you can give them a little piece of food, really, really good food. They can learn that when a muzzle goes on, they go for a walk. They get out of the house. They get out of the kennel. They go for a walk. They go places. They do fun things. And having a muzzle on, especially with like a Rottweiler or a German Shepherd or a Malinois, it's like a flag to strangers that say, oh, can I pet your dog? No, you can't pet my dog. They won't even ask if your dog has a muzzle on, I'm telling you that. Even though if your dog isn't even aggressive. I hate it when people come up and say, can I pet your dog? No, you can't pet my dog. That's a different story. I won't get into that either. So anyway, we teach every one of our dogs to wear a muzzle because you never know when you're going to need it. We teach them that it's not bad. We teach them that they can have the muzzle on. We can take them out when they pee and poop in a muzzle. You can use a muzzle if you've got a big dog when you travel. You put the muzzle on when you have to take them out and walk them at a rest stop or something like that. People get out of your way when they got a muzzle on a big dog. Cindy said, I worked in a vet clinic for many, many years and saw a lot of dogs that react this way when they were scared. That's not to say that this was not a dangerous situation. It was a dangerous situation. You put a dog into fight or flight when it's reacting through fear. A dog that bites you in fear is going to be a lot worse of a dog bite than a dog that's a trained police dog that's trained to bite and hold on. A fear biter is going to rip, and it's a bad deal. So we're not saying here that this was not a serious bad situation. It was. So there's no way to predict exactly when a dog is going to be in a fearful situation. We would say that you should err on the side of safety. And if you think you have a dog that can react poorly in certain situations, have them wear that muzzle all the time. Or don't put them in that situation. Or in this case, like when we take our German Shepherd to the vet, or in the past when I would take my police service dogs when I was a canine handler in the sheriff's department to the vet, I wouldn't drop them off and leave them there with the vet. The vets would learn, hey, I got to be in there with you. I'll handle the dog, you handle the medical part of it. I'll do what it takes to control my dog with a muzzle on so you don't get hurt. That's the way to approach the whole thing. Basically, you basically have to be careful and you have to think ahead. Cindy said, my mom bred Rottweilers for many years and I'm familiar with them. They can definitely be a challenge, especially during adolescence. And a young male 15-month-old dog is an adolescent. They go through screwy little periods of time, just like young adults do, young adult males when they're teenagers. Dogs are teenagers. They go from being a puppy to an adolescent. Adolescent, I would say, is from like, depending on the dog and the breed and blah, 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 8 months up to 20 months, 24 months, and then they're adults. So they react differently when they're young. So Cindy then goes on to say that if you have a problem, after looking at our video on how to pick the right size muzzle, give our staff a call. Our staff can help you pick the right one. But in the meantime, if you can find some local trainer with experience in training powerful working dogs to help you, we would suggest that you look for that help. And the person that wrote this wrote back and said, wow, thank you so much for your fast and detailed response. This is what I was thinking before I even wrote it, and you just confirmed it.